Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Wild Buster. My name is Wilfred, and in today's episode I'd like to talk a little bit about the skill of the Hitting Fist, which is a new class in Guardians. Now I've started playing this yesterday actually with my wife, and on the first video I wasn't really sure what to do, so it was more like experimenting different kind of like build option and stuff like that. So, but in the part one of the video, I'm deep diving into the skill tree and to have some kind of like opinion on where are the skill to invest your points in, how to play this hero as well. And in second part of the video, I'm going to play with my wife as well, a little bit of gameplay in action with the Hitting Fist. So I hope that's okay. Now, if you have played Marvel heroes before, Hitting Fist somehow plays a little bit like the Iron Fist in the sense that back then I could have a twin style, meaning that I could maintain two buffs under two stances. Of course, back in the old day of Marvel heroes, we could actually do something like the multiple stances as well, but not in this game. This game is rather simple, casual, and stuff like that. By the way, this is my wife, so I better invite her first. Pretty nice short skirts, by the way. Now, there are two stands to it. One is orthogonal stance, which is basically increase your health point as well as armor. Another one is the boxing stand, which is to increase the DPS as well as the dodge. So that is the main thing. Now, your skill changes depending on which stance you go for. So one of them is, you have these three skills. Another one is the other three skill, right? So that's another thing to note. The third thing to note is that every time you switch stand, there is a 5-second buff of a certain kind of like according to a stand. So for example, this one here has a 5-second buff of the shadow boxing, and then another one have a 5-second buff of the another one. So there are two buffs to it. You could potentially run two stances together, because I wish that the stance duration lasts a bit longer, but it's just not meant to be. You could actually rapidly switch the two together every 5 seconds, but I find it really clunky to play in that sense. Now, what are the differences between the two stands besides the buff itself is that the boxing stand is very much the AoE kind of thing. So I could do something like the advanced stand, which is like an AoE stun, and that will stun the enemy across. I could also do an enlightened ion, which is like there's a charge up to it, and there is an explosion around it. The problem I have with this power is that it's not that responsive in real life. So if I'm moving around, I click it, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, I don't know. So I don't really fancy that. And the third one is that there's a range there, orthogonal range, which is like it just hit multiple target, different direction. So this is a very much AoE build, and the AoE is being compensated by the damage buff itself. Another one, this is a more single target one. Single target is that you could do like physical upload, which is the just a hit with a rather short cooldown. And then after that, the rush is that you can initiate a punch that deals some physical damage, but you actually can do it 3 times. It's this 3 button there. I don't know how does it work here. I think, yeah, you can do it like, I don't know, a couple of times here. So, it's a bit of punching, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we can do it 5 times. So yeah, so that is that's the rank of the power, by the way, the yellow one. Then the other one is that counter strike, which is the counter attack, which is the there's a knockback to it as well, single target. So that is what it means. There's also something called the nuclear fist, which is the ultimate of this particular stance, which is the one that have a crater. Yep, so that is the one. If I switch to another stance, I could also have another one that will push. So potentially I could have like a back-to-back kind of ultimate as well, which is kind of neat in a way that is different from other classes whereby you only have one ultimate. So this one you can alternate between the two ultimate. So it's a little bit of flexibility there. Now in terms of skill-wise, it actually is a little bit hard to figure out what to spec into, because you will be using 2 stances and you'll be using 2 set of power as well. Now obviously you can't put points in every single power that you want to put in. So how then can you decide which one is good, which is not as good, competitive against other? So this part of the video, I'm going to just deep dive a little bit into that. I hope that's okay. Passive wise is that the more you hit, the more additional damage you have, stack up to 3 times. So I think 6% damage so far, I think is rather decent. Then you have the first power. You can either do the AoE or the other one, which is like 1 punch to it. The deciding point for me is that it seems to me the AoE is actually quite a fair amount of damage there. Of course, the cooldown is a little bit different, but I think I worked out the number in my head. I have decided to advance in one of them, but not the other one. So the second one is that I feel that the Enlightened Ion is nice, but just that I don't really like the so-called the charge up duration to it. But the main thing is that because the rush can punch multiple times, especially with the bosses, I find that it is more worthwhile to put in more points to it to make it punch better. Because net is the same thing. It just I guess deciding between these two is later on, if I really need the kind of AoE damage, then I need to do this one instead. But for Trash Mob, I don't really see a lot of issue, especially when I team up with my wife. Third one is the counter attack versus the orthogonal range. Again, I prefer a I think I work out a number. This one also looks a little bit more attractive, so I think all in all I'll pick this one, although I'll use both at the same time. Then you have the stance itself. Now why do I put points in one stand while not the other? There's a good reason to it. First of all, for boxing stand, regardless of how many points you put in, you get 10% increase in the damage buff anyway. The only difference is the amount of dodge, like 1% or 2%. The other one though is that it will increase hit point. Again, health points, sorry. Again, the armor is 10%, so it doesn't matter how many points you put inside, you have 10%. But the deciding factor for me is additional health seems rather useful, kind of thing. So I put some point in it. But I don't foresee myself maxing this one because in any case, I would not be able to max every single power. So this is one of those, points that I put in until a point whereby I just can't put it anymore. Ultimate wise, between the two, there's always a temptation to do both. Ultimate, the problem is that the cooldown is pretty high, 30 seconds. So if you work out the DPS, it's not really worth it to put too many points to it. Again, it's one of those that I would probably put in sufficient amount of points until a point whereby I say, well, that's enough. But I think between the two, Nuclear Fist seems to win over the other one, which is the Palm Tree. All right, so now that is really the end of the guide, so as to speak, on the Hitting Fist. And if I found that my theory may not be correct, I'll definitely do a follow-up video on how to play this class better. Meanwhile, if I do the thing that I do, meaning the switching stance and so on, I actually use up a lot of mana. So I think in my previous video I was kind of lazy, just one stance. I think by and large one stance is good enough. But if you switch stance a little bit, then you need to replenish your mana a little bit. Alright, so now I'm teaming up with my wife right now, and we are heading towards the... Well, I think these two are the same. Towards one of the quests. Okay, let me see whether I have something to sell or not. Nope, my inventory is fantastic. This game, one of the good things about this game is, inventory management is not as tedious as, say, Marvel Heroes in the past. And also, if you really want to play this game, bad news is that you can't buy in Steam anymore. Good news is that there's no region lock. So I'll put the link at the description of the video, and you could check out this game if you like to. The bad thing about not being in Steam is that there aren't really a lot of discount going on. Steam is fantastic, right? There's a lot of discount, 50%. It just entices you to buy the game. But without it, it seems a little bit too expensive, I think. But that's just my opinion. Right? Enough talking. Let's just do one, so I can do. So there's one stand to it. Then after that, I can switch to another stand. Then I can just punch them. So you see what I mean? It's kind of nice. I don't understand why am I not able to do ultimate. Yeah, I mean it's still a bit clunky. It doesn't seem finished, the class itself. I mean that's how I feel. Yeah, I think there's still quite a fair bit of improvement required to make it more playable. Yeah, then my wife is healing me. So there's my ultimate. Doesn't seem to hit very hard though. I mean that is how I feel. Now I switch stance again, then AOE stance. I mean I found the AOE stand rather good actually. So this is a punch, and I can knock down people as well. Yeah, I mean definitely the AOE one is a lot better for this kind of trash mob. Then I could like push them. Yeah, a lot of punching here. Switch stance. Enlighten. So that's a heal from my wife. Thank you very much. I don't know why I can't do the crater. I'm still trying to do a crater here. It's very clunky actually. Yeah, you know I have to try so many times to do a crater because there was an interrupt. It's just very unpleasant. So I think it's rather... No, the control is very clunky right now for this class. Because I keep pressing a button and nothing happens, and it kind of like make me very upset actually. Yeah, but well, it is what it is. Maybe they are still trying to finish the game. So this is a punch and the third punch. So I think this stance is more... Okay, so that is the punch. Then I can change the stance and the AOE. I mean, when it works, it's kind of nice, but just sometimes it's not quite working. This is the ultimate. It pushes them away. Wow, this is a big group here. Yeah, so you know you can see that my hotbar is changing. So it's something that I've been switching stance just to get additional buff. I mean, when the thing works, it's rather satisfying. The problem is that when it doesn't, when it doesn't articulate the way that I want to be, I think that is where the frustration comes in. Punch, 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 knock back, and after that, get out from there. Yeah, it's just so strange. It doesn't fire off. Oh wow, this is horrible. Okay, so yeah, so there was a good healing from my wife. Yeah, okay, so the my verdict is that because I have to keep looking at the hotbar, it's actually making it rather hard to play this class. So I'm not entirely sure if I really like this class, to be very honest. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so that is it, and let me just eat some mana thing. Okay, let's see what kind of gear I've got. Maybe, there's an upgrade definitely. So by using this one, I've gained quite a lot of stats, but then I lose one of the set bonus kind of, because right now my soldier boot blue kind of like tier has 4 items there, so I can afford to have 1 there. I'll still be having, having 3, so which is the buff here. So this one is crit damage, mana cost. I'm not really into mana cost, I think. Yeah, so this one is nope, this one is also not. The jersey, I've got it already. It's either maximum HP or armor. Definitely I'll take maximum HP. This one I'll stick with my yellow item, which is legendary. Oh, this is nice. This is unique, by the way. And so I will definitely use this one instead. And I have the, okay, so this one I can remove. So now I'll have the yellow one for this and disassemble later. What I'll do is that I'll just sell off the rest of it because I think gold is more important. Okay, with that said, I think I'm sort of ready to go. Just a little bit of upgrade on the power that I've got. Level 4, so I just level things to level 4, and I think that would be it. All right, let me just heal up a bit first. Find the gold. Everything here costs money. Ready? Okay, so that's it. What kind of boss do we have? This is the Hydra Khan. Hell Hydra. Okay, got you. Yeah, this one is a bit strange. So I keep switching stand. The ultimate is very hard, so I think that's done. Yeah, so I didn't quite like the whole thing because when I press the ultimate, it should fire off, but it just didn't quite get it. Yeah, so anyway, so I hope you have got an idea of how this game is like for the hitting fist and the various kind of like a toggle you can have of the dancing that you could have. But I think it's definitely harder to play than other classes I've experienced in this game. Mainly because I have to really pay attention to the hotbar. I can't really see what's happening. Unlike other classes whereby I can just dodge around quite at ease, this one I require me to like really pay attention to the to when the hotbar I can because I have 2 sets of cooldown to monitor, especially the ultimate of it. So that is the one that make it a little bit harder to deal with. I think. I mean, at least in my opinion. So it is definitely a class that is very high potential of challenge there, but it's also one of the classes that's probably least enjoyable so far for me because I just have to all the time look at the hotbar and to understand where things are and so on. All right, so now so I hope you enjoyed this short video. I'm not going to continue right now because otherwise it'll be the same thing. But as and when I discover something interesting about the class, I'll be more than happy to share with you my finding, and I hope that do let me know in the comment box below how you feel about this this new class, the Hitting Fist. Does it sort of reminds you of the good old Iron Fist that we have in the past? So yeah, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.